friends, this is Grace and welcome to video number 5 in our double page layout series. This is where I am creating double page layouts and basing it off of sketches that I found on Pinterest, and I am specifically working with sketches that have some kind of measurements in it so that it will I'm kind of seeing if having somebody do all of the measurements and the designing for me will help to be more efficient in my scrapbooking. And so far, so good. There are some pros and cons on each of them. So if this is your very first video in this particular series, I hope that you will catch the rest of the videos that I've created thus far. And this is kind of an answer to a survey that I created at the end of December. And I asked, what do you guys want to see more from me? And the highest votes came for double page layouts and also working with sketches. So I'm marrying them in this particular series. And this is the 5th one, and that means it's the last one of this mini series. I'm so grateful for those that keep on watching my series, keep on visiting me in this channel. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate it. So let's go on with this layout. With this particular one, I am basing it off of a sketch that I found again on Pinterest, and it is from a blog called Dusty Attic. It seems like they are an Australian-based blog, and they have sketches there, but I think they also have products in there. I'm not quite sure, but I found this one I thought was really good. I like that the photos are it's a photo heavy layout, and most of the photos are kind of in the center of the layout, so they get center stage. That's always my favorite, is when my photos can be center stage. And I also love how the pattern papers are big enough that I would not have as many scraps as how do I say it? Like, there's not going to be a lot of scraps like some other layouts that I've created before. Anyways, so this is what the background is going to look like. And then this is kind of like my extra thing. I felt like it needed some kind of border there. And so I have this scrap of green paper, and I'm going to cut some borders with that. And I'm going to use my leaf punch. Now, I don't remember the name, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention to write down your name, but somebody from watching my digging through my stash video number 2, where I focus on border punches, somebody mentioned that they had, seeing me use this leaf punch made them want to have it. I don't know if it's still available. All I know, it's Fiskars, and I got it at Joann's many, many years ago. And so that was one of the punches that I still love. I just don't use it enough. But yeah, using or doing that border page reminded me that there are a lot of border punches that I have in my stash that I love, that I just don't use. And I love using this particular leaf border punch for outdoors. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that my family and I love to be outdoors. So that just fits with a lot of the layouts that I make. I've also used this leaf for like fall layouts as well, things like that. So yes, that's the only thing I can help you with is that this is a Fiskars punch. I just don't know if it's still available. Now, I have a lot of photos here, and so it's going to take a while to cull or to go through them. Another thing that I liked about this particular sketch is that it has a room for a 4x6 photo, and then the rest are smaller photos. And I think this one, the rest of the photos are like 3x3. So I will be trimming some of them down just so that they will match the size that's called for this layout, because I think if I kept I think some of them will be 3x4, and then the tops and the bottom ones are going to be square ones. And I try to follow the sketch as far as like the size, because I know that the size sometimes matter about, like the placement and the overall look of the layout. So I'm going to try to follow that as much as I can. So let's go on with the pros and cons. I've already kind of said this. The pros is there's a lot of photos and the sizes are manageable. They're not like, the 2x2s and the 3x5s and the 5x7, things like that. Not that I have anything against that. It's just I don't print my photos that way, and so it's harder for me to pick photos that are not the normal size. It's also easy to add what you want, like embellishments, and as you saw, border punches. It's very easily adaptable to your style or to the kind of vision that you have for your particular layout. The cons is that there's no pattern paper measurements, just like the page maps was, no paper measurements. So you just have to guess the measurement. But like I said, it's very, I don't know, maybe it's because I've been scrapbooking for a while that when I look at a photo or a sketch, I can kind of visualize like, okay, this is going to take about 2/3 space of the left layout or the right, or, things like that. So I can kind of visually see what that will look like after I have after I have, or what the papers should be sized to, so that it will look very much like the sketch. So now I did have to mat the photos just to make it stand out. That was another thing that you might have to consider when you are using a ton of pattern papers as the background, is that you might have to end up matting your photos just to make it stand out. Now, if you have a lot of cardstock like I do, it's not a big deal, but if you are pressed with time, that might be a consideration. I know that there's some people that have done, what they've done is that they've actually printed their photos. Like if you print at home, you can print your photos with a white mat all around it, and that would make it faster for you to scrap. But I don't print at home, and I really, like I do a mass printing, and so I really don't know what I will use those photos or how it's going to look on a page until I am scrapbooking with them. So that was like something that I have to just deal with, is that I do have to mat them when I am using them. Now, I didn't know what kind of title I was going to use here, but then I'm noticing that there was a lot of open space and I really wanted to use my stash. And so I didn't want to go to the store and look for like outdoorsy type of stickers and things like that. So I was going through this notebook of mine that has a lot of smaller cuts that I have made with my die cut machine. And I found this title. I believe this one is from a free cut file from Paper Issues, because that's where I get a lot of my free cut files from. And it's just basically, it spells sunshine and outdoors. And the good thing about this is, if you know me, I like marrying the different styles of fonts, and it has the script and the kind of blocky type. And so it just worked really well. And so I'm combining them here, but the outdoors is a little too long for this pattern paper that I have cut to house my title. And so I'm kind of now squishing them together, and there are, because I've already glued them with some liquid glue, so there's parts that you can still see the yellow residue from the paper, but that's totally fine. I'm not too affected by that. But yeah, I just have to kind of squish them a little bit more so that they will work. And that's going to be my title, Sunshine and Outdoors. And I really love how that turned out. And then, like I said, I didn't have a lot of outdoorsy type of embellishments. I've run out, and so I'm going to kind of make my own, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm going to use to make my own embellishments here in a little bit. So again, I was going through some of my stuff and my die cut stuff, and I found this tree. I found a couple of them actually, and they're just basically the tree with just the branches. I think it's for a fall type of theme, because the leaves have fallen off the tree. But at this point, I wanted it to just make a tree. And so I found a circle, a stitch circle from my die cut pieces, and I thought, hey, I can make a tree out of that. And then I'm like, well, okay, let me see if I have any more of those like leafless trees. And sure enough, I did. And then I had some more circles. And so I'm just adding them here. And I really love how this turned out, making my own embellishments. This is just kind of like a, a happy accident for me because I don't normally make my own embellishments. You know, I always go for stickers and pre-made stuff and all that. But I love that I was able to pull out my stash, or pull out things from my stash that worked out well for this layout. So basically that is it. That bigger block on the bottom right, that will house my strips of journaling, and I will do that later on, off camera, of course. These photos are of a hike that we did back in May of 2020. We went on a hike just near our area, and we've never been to this lake before. I believe it's called Rampart Reservoir, and we went there for Memorial Day or something like that. And so it was a really nice hike. We would have hoped to hike all the way around the lake, but we had our little guy, and so he can't really hike for very long. He's still quite young for that, but maybe in the future we'll be able to go around the lake. But we went about halfway, and then we turned around and walked back to our car, and then just had some lunch, picnic lunch, close to the parking lot of the trail. Anyways, that is my layout, and that is the end of this series. I hope that you guys like this series. Let me know any more ideas that you think I should try. I'm always up for ideas from you guys. Let me know in the description box below, and let me know which one was your favorite layout out of all the 5 that I created. And I hope to see you guys in the future. Oh, one more thing. Yes, I found the sun again in the die cut pack. I think it was combined with that sunshine and outdoors, and it was a sun and it was a perfect day. So I'm going to add that to my layout. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys another day. Bye.